Hello everyone, welcome back to MB Beginner YouTube channel, and currently we are trying to learn Excel from basic to advanced level. Currently we have completed few parts already whose link you will get in the I icon above, or simply you can go to our playlist section and you will find all the relevant videos there. Now it is time to start working inside Excel. In this video we will be learning few major topics. One is how to enter data in Excel and how to edit data in Excel, and what is AutoFit. We will be also learning two keys. One is enter key and another one is tab key, so that we will understand all these things. You don't have to worry about the keys. We will learn one by one key. Firstly, in today's topic we will learn two keys. One is enter and tab key, plus we will be learning how to enter data in Excel, how to edit data in Excel, and what is AutoFit. So let's begin. Before we proceed further, now in the previous videos we already know how to open Excel, how to save file, right? And what are ribbons, what is worksheet, what is workbook, all these things we have already cleared. So now today what we will learn how to enter data in the Excel sheet. Let's suppose first let's recap one thing, that there are columns 16,384, rows there are 1,048,576, and the cells in one worksheet there are 17.18 billion cells. Now coming back to the today's topic, that is enter data in the how to enter data in the Excel sheet. Now first click on any cell. Let's suppose for example we will click on A1. Now simply we will start typing. So let's type what we will type. Let's suppose for example name, that is Rahul, right? So this is the data we entered. Firstly, I am hopeful that all of you are repeating all of these things on your laptop or PC, so that by doing this practical you won't forget these lessons, right? And now once you start typing, now we will enter. Now we will press enter. The data is stored in the cell. Now the Rahul data is stored in this worksheet in the particular cell, that is what it is, A1. You can check here, it is A1, right? Now the data got stored. Once you press the enter, now the data is stored inside the cell. Here our data here our data is name, right? That is Rahul. So let's enter some more data, like for example let's enter contact number. For example 1234, its contact number. Or let's suppose roll number. Wait, I will do one thing. 1234, and uh, let's take an example of his date of birth, that is uh, or let's for example take his salary, that is 25,000, right? And these let's take for example first these three topics. These three, now we have data. We can enter anything in this. That should be like, it should be like real entries, right? Valid entries. So we can write any valid entry. First, for an example, let's suppose name, contact number, and its salary, right? And this is our data for now. We will obviously increase this data, but it's an example hypothetical situation, so let's not forget about it, right? So these are the valid Excel entries, and Excel can handle all of them. This makes end of our first topic, that is how to enter data. Now let's proceed to the second topic, which is how to edit data. Suppose you entered a value incorrectly, that is this, right? Suppose you entered a value incorrectly. There are two easy ways to edit it. One is method one. Like, method one is double click on this, right? Once we will double click on the cell, now we can simply make the changes. Like for example, it's his contact number is not 12343. His contact number is, for example, uh, let's suppose we will write it in contact number, right? So let's suppose we will write it in contact number. Why it is only, why the full text is not why we're not able to see full text, we will be explaining that in detail as well. First ignore that thing. Now Rahul contact number, we made the modification here. This was the first method. Now coming to the second method. Now again, we have to, firstly we clicked two times on the cell. Now we have to click only once. Once we click on the cell, then we have to go to the formula bar. This is called as formula bar. Let's suppose, for example, I will click on this. You will find the same cell details, data of the cell in this formula bar. Let's suppose, for example, I will click on A1. You will find the same data in the formula bar. Now we have to change this. For example, contact number again. The method one was clicking, double click on it on the cell. Now the second method is we can click once. Now coming to the second method, where we can click once, then go to the formula bar. This is called as formula bar. Edit the uh, content and press enter. For example, I have to write contact number, right? So I made the modification, right? This method is useful only when the text is too long. As here the text is too long, we are not able to see it, so the we can easily change it here in the formula bar. Now let's suppose, for example, if we have to change Rahul, we can simply double click it and change it. We have to change the salary, we can simply double click it and modify it. But as far as the contact number is, as this is the lengthy, this is kind of, the text is long, so here we have to click once and then we can change the things in the formula bar. Now two things are clear, that is how to enter the data in the Excel, how to like how to edit the data. Now coming to the third point, that is enter key. Now we will first understand how enter key works in the Excel. When you press enter like this, look, I am pressing this enter. Now what is happening, Excel moves one cell downwards, look, right? Now let's, for example, I will put it here. Now I will put enter, enter. It will go like, for example, downwards. For example, A1 to A2, A4 to A5, and so on. This is useful when entering the data in a column. For example, now let's take example Neha, right? I wrote it. Now enter. I will also tell you how we have to go to sideways, but firstly we are learning about enter, right? So now Neha, same contact number, and let's suppose, for example, her salary is 27,000. Now I put it 27,000 as a data. Now let's click on enter, right? So the after pressing enter, Excel is moving one cell downwards, right? So this is useful when we are entering data in a column. Let's suppose, for example, uh, here I have to write 32,000. I will write 12,000, no, 22,000, right? This, right? So when we will have to write when we have to enter data in a column, let's suppose, for example, Rahul, Neha, and Karthik, mm, Himanshu, right? So all these things we will be mentioning here. So simply now how we have to use enter, when we will press enter, Excel will move one step downwards, one cell downwards, right? So we have to make this, we have to understand this, and we have to remember it always. And I'm hopeful that you are doing all these things practically with me, simultaneously with me, so that you won't forget all these things, right? Because otherwise it will get confusing if your base is not, like, for example, that much secure, then you won't be able to understand the next upcoming topics. Now coming to the tab key, simply when we press enter, what is happening, we are moving downwards, but when we press tab, we will be moving horizontal wise, right? Like, for example, we will move towards next row, right? You can see, right? So this is what happens when I press tab. When I press enter, Excel moves one step downwards. When I press tab, Excel moves to the next column. Right? For example, A1 to B1. Here, for example, it is in B11, and when I press tab, when I press tab, it will go to C11. Right? It will remain in the same domain. Only thing is, it will change column. Right? It will move to the next immediate column when I press tab. This is useful when entering data across the rows. For example, Let's suppose, for example, we will take another name here, which is Karishma. Now let's click on tab, contact number. I will like why this already, like once we entered contact number, now why again it is showing contact number when I typed only C. We will explain all these things in the detail, but firstly you have to understand the basics. So now I will again type as, I will again click on tab. Now here I will write as 24,000 and I will click on tab. It will move again to the right, that is D5, right? So this is useful when you are entering data across rows. So by this we learned four things. Which four things we learned? We learned how to enter data, how to edit data, enter key and tab. Simply all these things we have learned. Now what is AutoFit? This is the most important thing which we'll be learning, right? AutoFit. Sometimes the data is longer than the column width. This is the live example, right? Contact number here. It is the it is longer than the column width simply. This is the live example, right? For example, um, contact number we have written here, but only part of the text is visible here. Let's take an example. For example, contact N is written here. We are not able to see what exactly it is. Contact N, what it can be, right? It can be anything, right? So we are not able to understand what exactly it is. Like here it is Karishma, here it is Himanshu. We are able to understand, yeah, its name, right? Its full name is Rahul. It is his salary, right? So we are able to understand it, but here it is not, the text is not fully visible. This happens because the column is too narrow. Now here, how we will be using AutoFed. Simply we can move mouse between two column headers, between column A and B. For example, here we have to B to C, right? We will move column headers, right? And when the cursor changes, look here it is white, right? You can simply check when I am taking it to other sides, it is changing, right? It is in white. But once I will take it to the header between B and C, as contact number is in column B, so I will take it in B and C between. You can check the cursor is changing to black, right? Now here I have to click it like this and it will go, it will auto adjust, right? It will adjust automatically. This feature is called as AutoFit. It saves lot of time. Now let's suppose, for example, I will write here uh, MBA beginner channel, right? Now what is happening here? It is taking the, for example, it is taking the space of other columns, right? It looks like this, but it is not taking the space of other columns. Now let's type something in the F. For example, uh, MBA beginners channel. Here we will write course, for example. Now what happened? MBA beginner channel, we are only able to see only MBA beginner BEGI. Rest we are not able to see, right? Only half part of is visible to us. Now what we will do? We will simply go upwards between the header E and F. We will click, double click here, and it will automatically adjust, right? It saves a lot of time and makes data easier to read. You can also auto fit rows in the same way. Now it is not recommended obviously for the large set of data. Let's suppose, for example, if you have a large line, you have in various cases there, once you learn advanced Excel, in various cases there are certain things which you put all the details in the single cell, right? So obviously in that case you won't obviously do the auto adjust, right? It varies from company to company and job role to job role, and for example data to data. Now this was the automatic thing. We can also do it manually. For example, if you want to do it manually, we can simply drag it like this. You can see, right? You can see now. MBA beginner is only visible. After this, I am not able to see. If we will click it in the formula bar, it is showing MBA beginner channel. But here in this cell, I am not able to see it. I am only able to see it MBA beginner. Now I will click on, I will drag it manually like this, and I am able to see MBA beginner channel. So there are two ways. One is automatic adjust. If you want to automatically do it, go to the relevant, go between relevant two columns and double click there, and it will get automatically adjusted. And if you want to do it manually, then you can simply drag it like this, and clicking right, by clicking right side of the mouse. Right. uh, but one thing is there, as far as the manual setup is concerned, it is not recommended, as it is lot of time consuming. Here we have one entry only, that is the reason it took us less time. But yeah, if for example, if there is a need that you have to do auto fit, then it is best to do like double click on the header. That will be much beneficial for you. So this was all today. So let's have a quick recap what we learned today. Today we learned a cell is used to enter data. We can enter name, text, number, date, and so on in the data. uh, Enter key moves downwards, tab key moves to the next column, and auto fit automatically adjusts column width. Now coming to the conclusion, now you can confidently enter and manage data in Excel. In the next video, we will learn keyboard navigation and important Excel shortcuts that will help us work faster. Right? Thank you for watching. If you find this video meaningful, then please do like, share, and subscribe to our MBA Beginner YouTube channel. See you in the next video. Thank you.